Yeah, so we're going to do part 2. More Would You Rathers, which I could do these all day.
We did.
You could do them in different... The nice thing about these is, like, you could do them in a just wacky sense. You could do them in a very sexual sense. I think I like them when they're, like, really uncomfortable. Like, the decision is just terrible both ways, and you have to, like, get there.
See, I don't mind. Yeah, I think everybody should be forced to play a game of Would You Rather.
Yeah.
If they're going to get hired for a job, we need to play a game of Would You Rather, and we can ask you anything anything we want.
Here's a good one.
But hold on, wait, just set this up. We already did an episode of Would You Rather. This is going to be a second episode. I'll have the first episode linked above our head in the description at the end of this video.
Just think, as the employer or the one doing the interviewing, like if they like are scared or like back down, you don't know right there. All right, you're not meant.
Yeah. If you want somebody,
if
that's
they
like
embrace
back,
it, then it's like
like, hey man, hey, nice to meet you. Would you rather make out with your mom or snuggle naked with your dad? Like, how are you doing?
I like that one.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate your time. What was your answer, sir? All right, I got one. So would you rather, we're men, would you rather have your dick and balls chopped off clean? You could still function in a sense of urination and stuff, but your dick and balls are chopped clean. Or would you rather have both your hands and both your feet chopped off?
Both your hands.
Both bad options.
Terrible. Oh, I mean...
I feel like science is improving. You could almost get to a point where
you're thinking about it too much. Knock it off.
No. I think this is how you got to think about this one. Because this is a bitch.
Okay.
Like, this is like you're kidnapped by an evil, satanic person, and like they're going to do one of these two things.
But you can't get hands or feet back. Like, you have to live without them.
You could do whatever society allows.
All right, so you're going to keep it open. Okay, then, I mean, cut my hands and feet off, I think.
They're making dicks nowadays, though. They're making dicks.
Yeah, but it'll never be the same.
Nope.
Like, I mean,
your hands
maybe to please your partner, like a strap on, but the whole point is you having that sensation of the orgasm.
That one's too easy.
You think it's too easy?
Yeah, if you're going to say that I can get prosthetic hands and feet, yes, it's too easy. Cut my hands and feet off. I'm like,
man, I was going with dick.
I think you're nuts because you can't.
Imagine you're walking around with no hands and no feet.
No,
you're not walking around. You're in a wheelchair at that point.
Yeah, you'd be more productive in society with your hands and your feet, but every day, no matter how productive you are, you're gonna be like, Jesus, I got no dick and I can't get off anymore.
Prosthetic hands and feet are more realistic than a fake dick.
That's the most bigoted thing I've ever heard you say.
I guess I'm a bigot. Sign me up. It's on my bingo card this week.
I just think that, I mean, I think I go dick because at least then it's my own private anguish.
There's something about having a dick and balls that just...
You're more about living for other people than living for yourself.
I guess so.
You're a terrible person. What the hell's wrong with you? No, but there's something...
You guys are walking around, you're like, hey, hell, check it out. Still got one.
I kind of like that aggressive primal feeling I get from being a man with a dick and testosterone.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to lose that. Like
that is the thing. If you cut your balls off, you're going to have a testosterone deficiency.
Yeah, I don't want to lose that. I like it.
But if you don't have hands, you're not going to be able to do anything.
But you can get prosthetic hands and feet.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, you'd have your two like nubs that you could get good with stuff at.
And your feet are gone.
You know, like stilts. You could just be like...
I actually think the feet would be easier because those are just kind of static. Where your fingers, I mean, there's a lot of dexterity going on here. Mm-hmm. I think feet, you could replace feet pretty easy. I mean, it would be weird. Your balance would stink and stuff, but you can get away with it. All right, what's next?
Yeah, that would be tough.
All right, would you rather? Quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Fully Loaded Tobacco-Free Chew. Check out the description of this video or the show notes to get 20% off your next order. Be a dog for a day or the opposite gender for a week. By opposite gender, I'm talking about women because there's only two genders.
How dare you?
Yeah, I'd much rather be a woman to like somewhat try to understand their way of like being in society. Being a dog, I'll just lay there for the entire day. As a learning experience, I'd rather be the girl.
Oh my God. Okay, what about you?
I'd rather be a dog.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think it'd be sweet.
That
Like,
would be-
I
I
know
think
what it's
you
like
guys
to
are
be
crazy.
a person. The only benefit I would do would be now. I've heard this is a rumor, so I'm not even sure, but I've heard that women have orgasms.
All day?
No. I heard that they're able to. I've never experienced it in my presence, but I've heard rumors that they can. It'd be interesting to know what that feels like.
That would be the only reason that I would want to be a woman, is to just like have a bunch of sex and
Yeah.
know what it feels like. But I think I would.
Yeah, there's
I
somebody.
would choose.
Otherwise,
a dog,
the
though.
dog would be a total new experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested.
How cool would it be
we
to
feel, but-
be able to smell somebody like down the street?
and chase squirrels and stuff. Like it's.
You
yes.
could go chase squirrels right now.
Yeah, but not
Not
effectively.
like a dog.
No, like having a vagina and like taking it and like feeling that, and then like going about their days and understanding why they're so moody sometimes. Like, I think what's that movie like where Mel
You Want a
Gibson
Man?
can basically like think like a girl, like
Oh yeah.
White chicks.
it would be such a learning experience. I would be
yeah.
like, wow, this curtain's pulled back
What
to
was
somewhat
that movie
understand
called with Mel
what
Gibson?
woman won or something.
Yeah.
It was a chick flick, but it was like, damn, that would be nice to know what the hell's going inside their brain.
Now you're thinking about too much. You're thinking about other people, and you need to be thinking about yourself. You want to be a dog.
I want to be a woman for a week to learn about it. I'd be so much better as a male once I know what the female goes through a little
Yeah,
bit.
but think of what a better dog owner you'd be.
That's true.
I'm already a good dog owner, but I still want to. I'm going to be selfish.
That'd be
dog.
fun to be a dog. I just think it'd be a totally different experience.
I'll do both if I can.
Well, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Normally, a would you
It's
rather is like, no, both are terrible. I'm like, this
Yeah,
would
these
be
are both
cool.
cool. I'd like to do both.
All right, here's one. Would you rather be blind only inside buildings or blind only outside?
I'd rather be blind inside
Why?
because outside's way prettier.
Okay.
Now you'd be very not functional, but you could.
You'd run into a lot of things.
Yeah.
But you could, yeah, I would definitely go outside because being inside a man-made object's kind of lame. But then I would just change my lifestyle to basically almost live outside. I'd go somewhere tropical, basically like
Actually, yeah, that's true.
I would just like have a hammock and then always be
have to.
outside.
You'd have to. You'd have a lot of, mosquito-borne illness.
Yeah, you could stay in a tent though, and then at night, because when you're in a tent, you can't really look at anything anyway.
Yeah.
When you sleep,
Yeah, you're like
go
crawling
into a
around
tent.
your tent,
Yeah.
and then you like open the tent, and you're like, oh,
Good.
cool, like I can see again.
I think
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I think I'd go outside. Outside's easier. I'd rather have my vision there. Because if it's just inside, then it's like you're almost like a shut-in at that point. Because every time you go outside, you can't see. That wouldn't be good. I don't want that.
I think it's pretty obvious. All right, would you rather be born blind, born deaf, or born mute?
Deaf,
Deaf, huh?
I think.
I think deaf too. It's between deaf and mute. Blind is not good.
Yeah, blind.
Blind sucks.
Yeah, that's got to be the last one on the
Yeah.
list for me.
Mute
Wait,
is
technically mute just means your vocal cords don't work, but
Can't
you
talk.
understand people.
yeah. You can hear, see, but you could write and you could use sign language. I think I'd go deaf because then I could at least use sign language, but then honestly,
If you're
no,
mute,
deaf,
you can
can't
use-
talk.
I think I'd go mute.
I do too now.
Well, mute you can hear and see.
You just can't talk.
Yeah, and then it's just writing. Yeah.
The problem is with deaf. If it was deaf and I could like clearly communicate, but deaf people can't hear themselves talk, so then they don't. It's almost like a double whammy.
Yeah, it's
And blind, I feel like just messes the whole thing up.
yeah.
Mute.
I
And
agree.
you could like just be a monk or something. It's like
I like mute.
it'd be into your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I
Now I
just
think
looked at
about
the
it.
child made a P1. I just re-looked at
That
it real
one's so
quick.
good. I got one that's in the vein of recent events. The goat up there in Canada, the teacher that's wearing the triple Z prosthetic
yeah.
breast, who's the best.
Yes.
And it sounds like this truly is like a scam.
Like I said at the very
Which is
beginning,
awesome.
when you guys were like, "Look at this guy," I was like, "He's definitely trolling."
Which is awesome. It's like one of the best troll jobs ever.
Amazing.
I mean, it's amazing. But apparently he got suspended. Anyway, so this would be a good would you rather. Would you rather wear prosthetic breasts that size around for a week?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather have to be wearing tight pants and wear like an absurdly large phallic structure, like down like halfway past your leg, like past your knee,
for a week as well.
for a week?
Yeah, the latter. I mean, either or.
They're both so absurd.
Yeah, they're both like people just be staring at you, and if you're not allowed to explain it, it's just like, "What's up?" Yeah, but wearing tits today. You just have to get over that. But I think it makes more sense just to have the ridiculous looking dick, and people will just be like, "Really?"
All right, that or all right, prosthetic Z breasts or make out with your mom.
I'm wearing the breasts.
I think I would go the prosthetic breasts.
Okay.
Because I want to know what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That would be
Fuck
just
that.
as close.
Like you guys are like, oh, I want to know what it's like to have sex as a woman. Fuck that. No.
No.
Give me the boobs. Because I just,
Being a
I
man's
don't know.
pretty
I kinda just
slick.
wanna know.
All right, what do you got?
One I'm morphing two together that I just looked up. All right. Would you rather lose your sense of taste forever? So it's just you're eating to eat, basically.
Hashtag COVID.
Yeah. Or, or every time you like insert your dick into your partner's whatever, that you instantly lose feeling and you basically can't get off ever again.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Uh-huh. What do you guys think?
I think I go taste too. And I wouldn't. I mean, you'd save a lot of money. I just would basically eat like whey powder. And
God,
stuff.
but it's just such a good feeling to have sex.
Yeah, I mean,
That-
I guess this would be definitely dose dependent. Like if you're a big fat guy, like you don't want to lose your taste because you're not having any sex anyway.
Well, losing your taste might actually help you lose weight.
Good point. That would be a good thing to ask to a really fat guy. But yeah, I guess like I experienced it if you've had COVID. Like yeah, like you truly can't smell or taste. Like it is a weird
Yeah,
sensation.
I didn't get COVID, so I don't know what it's like.
It is weird. It was
yeah.
weird. It was
So
like
when you eat,
the
you just
absence
doing it
of
for the feeling of like your gut being full.
Like I would take like tequila and put it up to my nose. I couldn't smell it. I could put it on my tongue. I couldn't taste it.
So then, what were your eating habits like? Were you still
I
eating
think
the
I
same
just,
amount,
I just
or
ate whatever.
okay? Okay.
I don't even, really. I wasn't that bothered by it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I can get away with it forever, but it would be annoying. Yeah, I don't want to lose the sensation of my wiener.
I'd probably go taste. Because what's the point living? Go back to losing hands and feet. Like the whole point, I think, of living is getting off.
No, but here's. All right, let's just say it. Here's the thing: if you lose your taste and you have access to the feeling in your dick, if you go to like eat your girlfriend out or like your wife or like eat the butthole,
You'd probably be great
if they
at it.
like it, you'd be like, hey, I'll do it all day because I can't taste it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be great at it.
You would be the best sexual partner ever.
Yeah, yeah, and you could still use your wiener. Yeah,
Still
And
use your
it's
wiener.
not
I
like
mean,
you
you might
can't
still
eat.
smell it, but
Yeah. Actually, that's true.
if
Like
the others act it out for us. You eating box with your nose plugged.
I can eat box without my nose plugged. It's the butthole stuff that I don't know. I've never done it, but I'd imagine I'd have to like this.
yeah. I haven't ventured.
Another sexual one. Would you rather have your parents and your significant other's parents watch you have sex from the moment you start undressing to like getting off, or the opposite, where you and your significant other have to sit there and watch both your parents like have sex to completion?
Oh God.
Oh, that's so gross. I think I go with letting them watch me eat. I mean, at least at that point, like, I mean, I am not gonna watch.
I think so too. I agree.
I mean, there's no way you could tolerate it. There's just no way. And like, oh my God, there's no way. No way. I'd let them watch me. I mean, whatever.
Whichever, yeah. If I could tell the future, know which one's quicker. Like, because I would have a
Yeah.
tough time like performing, knowing that like her parents are watching.
And your dad's in the corner. He's like, go ahead and come, son. That's my boy out there. You see him? You see my boy with your daughter?
Like sitting down stadium seating with their popcorn watching it. Ah, you gonna come already?
That's our boy.
I think I would definitely have them watch me.
That's just awful.
All right, here's a more tame one.
It's a good one, though.
What it is. Would you rather see the beginning of the universe or the end of the universe?
Probably beginning.
Yeah, because there's so many theories based on it. I mean, either or would be like awesome to know for a fact. But either way, unless you have a way to prove it, like everyone's gonna be like, all right, you're silly.
Yeah.
But
I
this
want
whole
to
Big
know
Bang
it's
Theory.
before the beginning.
Yeah, just what is it?
Because that is
Are we a petri dish?
That's one of the biggest unanswered questions, right?
And
It's
it can't be answered.
Yeah.
It is like when you really think about that one, it just can't be answered because there's always that step before.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, the Big Bang. Okay, fine. Everything was an infinitesimally small thing like this. Where'd that come from?
Mm-hmm.
And
Nothing.
then, okay,
to
let's just say
something.
that came from this thing. Okay, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
It's just this never-ending trail where there's never going to be an answer. So I'd like to see it, but then I'd still have then I'd be like, the end of the universe. I don't even know what that means either. Like just all the energy fizzles out to a point. Like every star has fizzled. Right?
Yeah. It's.
That wouldn't even be that
whatever.
far.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
You just would watch something like you just watch. It'd be you standing.
The cool
there
part
watching
is
one
both
last
of
star
them
fizzle.
in your would you rather are like would mind blow. Like it would be mind blowing. It would just be like, oh, I have the answer. But then, like, it would basically be you because you're the one that can, like, really articulate it. And they'll be like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know?
The end is an easier answer.
Yeah, I guess that's true because there's nothing after that, right? At least when the universe starts, you have an idea of like, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
What's going to happen.
Yeah, I'd watch beginning.
Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with that.
Beginning would be fun. I'd have a good time watching that.
The beginning and, yeah, ultimately, like, what layer above us created it?
Yeah.
Because every time you head down that hole, it's like, what the hell? How do we exist? We're just this one little rock.
You
and
get a
this,
lot
like-
of questions answered. A lot of questions answered by going back to the very beginning.
And it would just be like, yeah. No, it'd be definitely that.
And then you'd answer the question on what is the real God, because whatever it is that ultimately triggered this to happen is, in theory, God, whatever that looks like. We always try to make it look like a human, where it's like humans have only been around for like a few thousand years, versus like this solar system and this universe has been around for billions of years. It's such a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah, it'd have to be the
how
beginning.
wrong we've gotten it.
Oh yeah.
Over and over
You
and
know,
over and over and over.
based on what we think it is. It's like, oh my gosh, we're so stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's because we want to answer things, but the reality is you can't.
And people are willing to go to war over that kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
too. Is their religion and no, it's this way. It's always been this way. It's like, but you don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be murking people.
Well, and
over
then
how you think things started.
there is
How-
some of those religious wars that I'm like when they talk about the like Spanish conquistadors going to South America, and they're like, oh well, they ravaged them. Yeah, they ravaged them with smallpox and shit like that. But also, yeah, they did kill them. But also, they showed up. These are like people that really are somewhat civilized in our realm. They show up and they see Aztecs on top of pyramids cutting children open and eating their insides. Like if I you know what I mean? Like if we all of a sudden were explorers and we land somewhere and we see like, and they're bringing children's hearts to us to like, you're like, we have to eradicate these people from
Yeah.
the face of the fucking earth.
savages.
No, they're beyond savage.
Yeah.
Like this isn't savage. Savage is like eating a goat not cooked. These people are sacrificing children and killing them to sacrifice to their gods. Like we have to end this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that's
I
the
actually
whole-
like get it. Like we go kill people for no reason. We go kill people for fake weapons of mass destruction. Like we killed hundreds of thousands of people. Like if they were over there right now in Ukraine sacrificing children on altars, you'd be like, we got to put this.
Yeah, we got to drop something on top.
So
of that.
some of the religious war, I'm like, oh yeah, like no, I'd absolutely do the exact same thing. Now, when you're talking about the Middle East and some of their stuff, no, that's stupid. You're talking about sex of.
But all of it comes back to like evolution and like things like there's dogs that are just wired differently and like bite, but you need it all to kind of get that common strand of this is like the Neanderthals and all this and that. We finally landed on ours that's most successful and normal to us right now. But I always go back to like just like 300,000 years ago. I mean, there was no humans at all. So whenever we go back to God, it's like, all right, why do we think that us humans are the ultimate being? Where like God, he wanted to wait these billions of years for this one rock to have this one creature eventually evolve when we weren't always here and we haven't been here that long. That's where I always get mind fucked. It's like, if God is a thing, like, was his purpose originally like, okay, I'll try this and I'll try this, and why just Earth? That's why I think there's got to be other. But then, like, the whole dinosaur theory, they were here, whatever, 300 million years ago to 150 million years ago. It's like, oh, is that going to be his, like, creature of choice, that we're going to be the chosen ones to, like, dominate the Earth? And then he was like, they screwed it up. They're too ridiculous on that planet. Let's go ahead and delete them and then slowly have this human creature evolve. That's where I'm like.
Well, that's also, you're right. But like then, all right, well then how do we parse it out that without an observer, there is no time? So we think of time in a sense of.
Our linear form.
Right. But we're also
With our
observing
gravity.
time. So, we think, the carbon dating did this. Like, we don't know. Like, time is a different animal when you don't observe it. When you're moving at the speed of light, say, time doesn't exist. Like, that's not time.
Do you think we'll get there one day?
No.
Where time doesn't exist?
No, where we can, like, actually travel, like,
the
comparable
speed
speed to the time, so you could actually go out and then come back, like the old interstellar theory. Like, you could come back in 40 years and be the same age because you just went back, and all of a sudden, like, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. In our current form, absolutely not possible, right? Now, if technology advanced enough to where we figured out how to remove consciousness from our bodies and put it into, I don't know, a little box and send it at the speed of light to something? Yeah.
Maybe.
But in our current form, it's like, no. So then you got to ask, okay, what are all these aliens or these flying saucers, UFOs or whatever that come to Earth? Like,
False flag.
but if we have been visited, it might not be in a form that we're aware of. Maybe it's just like this ball of energy.
That's a good point. Because with this whole, like, if they have technology that's so far advanced because they've had, whatever, billions of years head start on us to actually understand technology and what other resources are out there to actually travel the speed of light. And we're like, well, why don't they come back more often? It's like, it might be like 1 second, their time period, where it's like, oh, let's just stop by this rock again. And then, like, a bebop, like, if they would have been here 200,000 years ago, it'd been like nothing. It's like all nature. Like, we weren't really, like, creating, like, obviously buildings and roads and whatnot. We were all hunters and gatherers for the most part. So you could, like, peek around, just a little bit of life, nothing, and then pop out.
And if aliens wanted to observe us, we wouldn't know. Like, it's not like they're like, oh shoot, John, you left the camera on. The guys are gonna see it. Like, if they had the technology to come to our planet and observe us, we wouldn't even know. They didn't want us
unless they
to know.
wanted it. Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted us to know, we'd know, but we wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, it's not like,
that's why when I hear that they're like, oh, we're shooting down UFOs over Lake. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah,
you're just not.
Yeah.
Like, they might be UFOs, but they're not aliens.
it's a human-made something.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's no aliens that travel here from another solar system that are getting shot down by our missiles over Lake Michigan. Like, it's just not happening.
Yeah, they're so advanced where they can travel.
You're talking about, like, but I would think, like, if we actually had the technology to go observe other life forms on other planets, our goal wouldn't be to destroy them. It would be like observing and then, like, making common peace. So they might just be like, they haven't been back here yet. Because really, even if you could just go back 200 years ago, 1800s, like, it would have been tough to, from, like, an aerial view, like, see a crazy amount of development. I could see them popping by, just be like, all right, we'll check this back in 5 seconds.
Again,
in our.
We're also perceiving that their time would be like our time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it could be 5 seconds in their world, or like, yeah, we'll go
5
check.
seconds in their world could be
300 years. Well, yeah.
I
There's
mean, you could be talking about things that just time doesn't. They don't perceive it the same.
But what if they want us? Because we're almost like animals to them, and they want to make sure we survive, so make sure we don't blow ourselves up, so they can come snatch us up and take us off to wherever.
We're like an endangered species.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this one globe does actually have life.
They would
Protect
treat
it.
us like polar bears or something.
So maybe they are visiting us, and they do have to, like, stop to a point where we can visually see them. And that's why, they could normally travel around us and we can't see them, but they're stopping on purpose because they have to observe us in a way that they need to be able to do to observe us.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know.
No, that's so fun about it.
I would love if the government, like, just came clean about all of it. And
well, we act like they know anything.
they might not, but, like, they know more than us. They have something. And if they don't, then say we have nothing.
Yeah, but they can't come out and say we don't know what the hell is going on, because think about how incompetent that's going to make them look. I mean,
I think our governor is perfectly competent.
I'm not saying they're competent to begin with.
They're running the business great. They're only $30-some trillion in debt. It's fine. No, they're all incompetent. They're compartmentalized to an extreme degree, and it's a bummer because it'd be cool to find out.
And I think everybody can agree on that too. This is the strangest part. I think everybody can agree for the most part that the people in government are they're all morons. They're all idiots. But
I don't think they're all idiots, but
they're not all. But
the majority are bad people, I think.
100%. But
they're not going for good public service. It's like, can I make a career out of this? How wealthy can I make myself? And like, how can I benefit others with my position?
But even knowing that, there's still like people on two sides of the aisle that continue to just argue back and forth when in reality we all agree that like these people are mostly scumbags. Yeah. Like, hey, why don't we kind of band together and be like, we're not the idiots. We shouldn't be fighting. You guys are the...
They're not. I don't think they're stupid. I think they're smart. They've basically got us arguing about ridiculous things that have not, like, race.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like race is like, all right, like, can we move on? Like, I'll just treat everyone the exact same. Like, they got you arguing about race and religion and transgender and this and that. And it's like, well, they're stealing trillions of dollars from you.
Yeah.
They'll smack you in the face with it. They'll do like a stimulus something or another where they'll carve off a little section. Everyone's like, oh, I got $700. When in reality, it's like they're just raping you with taxes and your money goes to nothing that you would actually want in your own local community. That's what drives me nuts. I was about to say something else with the damn... Oh, I always like the analogy from The Bug's Life. They're the grasshoppers. All we have to realize is there's more of us ants, and we can overthrow those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They got us controlled right now.
Good. I'm surprised they let it get released.
Back then, no, but it's true. It's like, man, we all bow down to them. We take shots when they tell us to take shots. They're allowed to manipulate the market and like make whoever, pharmaceutical manufacturer, like billionaires overnight, just because it's like, hey, let's make the whole country do this.
Every contract they do is
all
just
these contracts. They can put people out of business. They can create new businesses, all based on like signing their name somewhere. Mm-hmm. But in reality, we're supposed to have the power. They're supposed to be working for us.
They're incentivized
somewhere along the line.
Fighting each other.
Yeah, because if we're fighting about race and cops and dumb shit, then it's like, hey, they're really distracted. Let's keep sending $40 billion to Ukraine every month, and then we're just gonna siphon it out.
Right.
Like, oh, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not one party. Like,
that's what I mean.
It should be a class issue. It should be us versus them. It should be
we're talking about the social networking and like the whole Twitter thing with what Musk is doing.
That's a good thing.
The old days with just controlling what media and newspapers. I mean, they control the narrative and just brainwash people what's going to be most advantageous for them. It's crazy. So to that point, they're smart as a conglomerate because they've done it. They're the masterminds. Yeah. They're running the country exactly how they want it to for the most part.
They've got a good system.
But they suck.
Yeah, they've got a good system, but I do feel like people are catching on. I hear way more people talking about the corruption of government now than I did when we were 20.
Yeah, I never really thought about it until, I mean, honestly, when the C-19 stuff happened, that's what really opened my eyes and even made me realize that at the local level is just important as the federal level. Like,
it's probably more important as far as affecting your daily life.
Because I'm like, these guys have the power to basically shut businesses down and put companies out of business, and I'm like, oh my gosh!
In the name of a virus that was made by our government.
I have it's that changed everything for me. Like, I have so much distrust with anything they say going forward.
I think that was common.
But I think it's kind of it's a good and bad thing because now you're gonna have people questioning.
You at least know what you're dealing with.
Yes, you're gonna have people questioning like, oh, they're telling me to do this, like because something like the pandemic is going to happen again. It's just a matter of, and I think now we know how people
lab viruses that are that dangerous. Yeah.
Now we know how people are going to react, but now those people will react probably a little bit differently now that we know, hey,
well, you would hope.
Everything they were telling us wasn't necessarily true. So I think we're going to have those people that react the exact same way, plus, another group of people that hopefully is more powerful. That's like,
Musk releasing all those files of the government constantly contacting Twitter to get rid of people's speech. It's like. No, like, if you don't distrust government at this point, where are you? Like, who trusts
You have to control misinformation.
Yeah, of course. Misinformation, like, we won't list them, but every single thing that they basically said was true. And to anyone who had half a brain and looked at it for 5 seconds, they were like, I don't know. Maybe that's not right.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is like, because going back to like the whole COVID thing, what is so mind-boggling is like most people know like or have dealt with something like a drug being recalled and or I've heard about the rigorous process to like get a drug through the FDA and like all the testing that needs done and all these like cohort tests. But then like if you think about the vaccine, it was like, all right, they just made this in the last couple of months and now they're just mass distributing it and making everyone in the country take it immediately.
It's totally safe. Just do it.
Like if everyone would have just looked at like right up front, they'd be like, wait a minute. Maybe this isn't the smartest thing. It's like the government told me this is the best. This is the only way I'm going to survive, so I'm going to do it right now. And it's like this was created like 90 days ago.
Thanks for checking out this podcast. Please make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you go. If you want to watch us continue the conversation, then click on this video to your left next.